Let us pray. Let us hand over this special gathering into the hands of the Almighty God, who is able to do all things to his own glory. Father, we give you all the glory this morning. Great things that you have done for us as a state and as a nation. Father, we thank you for this special day that you have made, a day you have chosen through the special grace of His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, to bring all of us here. Father, we thank you for traveling mercies. We thank you for the protection. We thank you for your love and mercy. Lord, you know the purpose of our gathering here today. We seek your presence, and we ask you, gracious Father, to lead us aright in our gathering, in our discussion today, and deliberations, so that the gathering is for the way forward for Akwa Ibom State, the progress of Akwa Ibom State, for the development of the Akwa Ibom State, for the growth of the Akwa Ibom State. Father, we are asking, show us mercy in this gathering. If there is anything that we have done contrary to your will in our gathering today, Lord, show us mercy. We commit this gathering to you, all the resource persons and all the presentation, Lord, will be guided by you to your own glory. That at the end, this session will bring a blessing to the state and even beyond Akwa Ibom State. We ask all this in the name of God the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Please, we can take our seats. Let me request for 1 minute that the protocol team should please help us to organize this hall effectively. Everyone standing on the aisle should be shown their way to the back of this hall. And if there is no space at the back, perhaps they could just step out of the hall and join through the live broadcasts on the various media handles of the Akwa Ibom State government, or even Arise TV News. Please, no one should stand on the aisle. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I am delighted to welcome all of us to this very first Akwa Ibom Dialogue, hosted here at the Bomaikon Hotel in the city of Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to think up the Akwa Ibom State of our dreams. Not my dream, not your dream, but our dream, because Akwa Ibom State is our state, not any man's state. We are gathered here in the hopes that before we are out of here, we would have created a roadmap of development for Akwa Ibom State anchored on the Arise agenda. I like to say that there has never been a time where collaboration and consensus building has become as important as it is in the present generation. No leader knows it all. So when a leader admits that he needs the collaborative opinion of other experts and elders, that is not weakness, but rather it is strength. On that note, I'd like to ask that we put our hands together, celebrate and welcome the gentleman who leads Akwa Ibom State today. Completely humane, completely democratic, very, very true to everything he says and the tenets of democracy. The governor of Akwa Ibom State, the leader that has made this possible, Pastor Umo Eno. Please can we put our hands together and celebrate and welcome him. Thank you very much. We're also delighted to welcome the wife of the governor for this meeting, Pastor Mrs. Patience Umoino. We welcome you, ma. Thank you very much for joining us. I like to plead, because of how many people I have to introduce here today, we may not take all the salutes anymore. So the brass band, thank you. Perhaps at the end, I'll just invite you to do one general salute for everyone here because we're really just important people. We welcome also the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, who's seated here at this event, distinguished Senator Dr. Mrs. Akwa Ibom. We welcome you. Thank you very much for joining us at this event. The Speaker of the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly has also joined us, Honorable Justice Ntong. We welcome you. Sorry, Honorable Justice Udeme Ntong, rather. We welcome you. Thank you for joining us. The Chief Judge of Akwa Ibom State, represented by Honorable Justice Achibong, we welcome you. Thank you for joining us. Allow me to recognize the special guest of honor for this event. Your Excellency, you did many things right in your tenure as governor. But I'd like to say, without any equivocation, that one of the greatest rights of the Mr. Right tenure as governor of Akwa Ibom State is the succession agenda that threw up Pastor Moino as the governor of Akwa Ibom State. Your Excellency, that is your greatest legacy as far as I'm concerned. Please, let's celebrate the man that gave us the leadership that we today celebrate. His Excellency, Mr. Udom Emmanuel, immediate past governor of Akwa Ibom State. I can guarantee that none of your projects will be abandoned. I can guarantee that none of your legacies will be forgotten. This is what leadership means, and this is what success means. Because without a succession, no true leader can really say that he succeeded. We welcome also former governor of Akwa Ibom State, who has also joined us here, the one we call the architect and the father of modern Akwa Ibom, Architect Obong Victor Atta. We welcome you. Thank you very much for joining us. Allow me to celebrate the chairman on this occasion, former Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We celebrate you, distinguished Senator Udoma. Thank you for joining us. God bless you. Of course, we also have the chairman of the People's Democratic Party here in Akwa Ibom State, the Right Honorable Elder Anieka Nakban. Thank you very much. We welcome you. Thank you for joining us. Please let me celebrate members of the National Assembly that have joined us at this event. All the
From the 27th of July, Akwa Ibom will rise like never before. Are you ready? Are you ready? Rise like never before. Are you ready?
Audience, so I apologize one more time. We welcome all members of the National Assembly that are here, distinguished senators and members of the House of Representatives. We thank you for joining us. Please, time would fail me. I can't list everyone that is here today, but I think that all of us really respect and appreciate you for coming out here this morning. Thank you very much. Please let me acknowledge former deputy governors of Akwa Ibom State who have joined us at this event. We have the immediate past Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Moses Sekbo, member of the Order of the Federal Republic. Please can we put our hands together and celebrate him? Thank you very much. We welcome you. We have His Excellency Etem Okboyo, who has also joined us. We welcome you. Thank you very much, sir. We also have His Excellency distinguished Senator Christopher Ekpeyong that has also joined us here. We welcome you. Thank you very much for joining us. please allow me to acknowledge and welcome in our midst the presence of all ambassadors that are served in various countries, all from Akwa Ibom extraction, that have joined us for these events this morning. We have His Excellency Ambassador Asamasam, we have His Excellency Ambassador G.G. Omo, His Excellency Ambassador Etemuye, His Excellency Sunday G. Samson. All of them have joined us at this event. Please, we acknowledge and celebrate all of you. Thank you for coming to think for the future of Akwa Ibom State. Of course, we also welcome all former ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that have also joined us here. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us. Wife, the former governor of Akwa Ibom, Mrs. Fumi Nkanga, she's also here in this meeting. We welcome all of you. Thank you so much for being a part of this meeting, and we appreciate your persistent and near permanent support to everything that happens here. Please let me acknowledge the players in the corporate sector that have joined us at these events this morning. We have the representative of the GM and CEO of Zenith Bank, leading a very strong team from that bank to be a part of this event. We welcome you, Executive Director, Mr. Akin Oguronti. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your presence. On that note, I also welcome other banks that are here, the MDC of Wema Bank, the MDC of EcoBank. Both of them are here. Please, we welcome you. Thank you so much for joining us. I won't fail to acknowledge other players. We also have Our Excellency here, Valerie Ebe. Please, we celebrate you. Thank you very much. I've just been notified that she's in the house. Thank you so much for joining us in this event. Your Excellency, we welcome all commissioners designates that are here. We welcome all permanent secretaries and heads of extra ministerial departments that have joined us, chairmen of boards, statutory boards in particular. Let me celebrate on their behalf for joining us. We duly really celebrate you. Of course, we have already acknowledged all the former ministers that are here, that list of security and paramilitary organizations. All of them are here. The Commissioner of Police, Director, SSAs, we have the Commander 2 Brigade, and all the others who are here, please. Time would fail me to list all of you, but trust that we really appreciate and we welcome you for this event. Chairman of local government areas that have joined us. We have representatives from several professional bodies, NBA, NMA, and all the others that are here. Nigerian Society of Engineers. Because we came here to think, we really appreciate that you could come out to also lend your intellectual property as we think forward Akwa Ibom State to the El Dorado, where would become the envy of all the other states in Nigeria and perhaps even become the envy of the world. We welcome every other person that has joined us here, seniors in the project Akwa Ibom State, senior citizens. I welcome all men, I welcome all women, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen of the praise. Please, may I request that we put our hands together and celebrate ourselves. If you are in this auditorium, it means that you deserve to be celebrated. So please, can you just put your hands together and celebrate yourselves? Thank you very much. Your Excellency, just before I proceed to call on the lady that will handle the first item, I'd just like to make these announcements. And this announcement concerns our health, our safety, as far as we are part of this event. Please, the first announcement I'd like to make is that there is a medical team on ground to attend to all emergencies. There is a medical team on ground to attend to all emergencies. To locate the stand, you are required to take the exit just beside the Zenith Bank Pavilion at the entrance. There is a medical team there to attend to all emergencies. There are conveniences located upstairs in this facility. If you need to use any of them, any of the protocol team members on the aisle will lead you. Please, in case of an emergency, do not panic. Do not leave your seat. Just ask the ushers to invite the medical team to attend to you, and that will be done. And please, if you notice any emergency around you, the person may not be able to alert the ushers. So you do the alerting so that the person can be attended to. Please, if the emergency requires that you exit the hall, all doors will be opened, and then someone would lead you out. Any individual patient, as I had earlier described. Thank you very much. I hope that we would acknowledge to this regulation, because if you do, we're sure that we're going to have a very safe event. Not that we pray for any casualty, but it is better to just know so you are prepared. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, the introductory formalities having been done, at this point I'd like to welcome, for a brief welcome remarks, the Economic Advisor to His Excellency, the Governor, Udwarabong Inam, PhD. Please can we put our hands together and welcome her to the microphone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Moy Eno, Your Excellency, immediate past Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Your Excellency, former Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Architect Victor Atta, distinguished guests, all other protocols duly observed. I welcome you all to this, the first ever Akwa Ibom Dialogue and the formal launch of the Arise agenda. From time immemorial, think tanks have played a fundamental role in the evolution of states and the advancement of national economies. It is indeed in recognition of the critical role that think tanks play in the advancement of national and subnational entities that His Excellency Pastor Eno called for a state dialogue. Now, the essence of the Akwa Ibom Dialogue is to provide an opportunity for Akwa Ibomites to help chart a roadmap of implementation for the Arise agenda. You will all agree with me that the Arise agenda is more than a political manifesto. It may equally interest you to know that whereas the Arise agenda is not a short, medium, or long-term plan, it's actually a precursor of a long-term development plan. As you may all be aware, according to the United Nations Global Agenda for Development, we are in the last decade of action for the achievement of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. As you may equally be aware, Africa's 2063 Development Plan is already on course, and also Nigeria's 50-year development plan is also on course. And so, in line with global, continental, and national dictates, Pastor Eno is equally committed, to giving Akwa Ibomites a long-term development plan. So the Arise agenda, which we are celebrating today, is actually a precursor of a 35-year development plan that will soon come to form. Thank you very much. These indeed are interesting times for our dear state. So I welcome you all to this dialogue. I welcome our distinguished facilitators and resource persons. I wish you all a most pleasant stay. As always, it is my earnest prayer and hope that God in His infinite mercy will crown all of our efforts with good success. Thank you very much and welcome.
Thank you very much for that brief welcome remarks. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it has always been my opinion, and those of other opinion holders, that this state will continue to grow if we have a roadmap that is not tainted by who is the governor per time or the political party in power per time. And that is what we're about to draw today. And we thank His Excellency, the Governor, Pastor Moino, for thinking far ahead, 35 years for our dear state. Please come and put our hands together and celebrate one more time this very novel and very noble idea. Thank you. Your Excellency, at this point, we're going to skip item number 4 and go straight to take the chairman's opening remarks at this event. So I'd like to welcome respectfully now the chairman on this occasion, distinguished Senator Udoma. Please can we put our hands together and celebrate the chairman, please. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the Governor, and his honor, as a further sign of his intention to work with all Akwa Ibomites, I noticed that His Excellency was one of the first people to visit Chief Godswill Akpabio to congratulate him, on his victory as Senate President. The Governor clearly believes that notwithstanding any political party differences, an Akwa Ibom person being elected as Senate President is an achievement for which all Akwa Ibomites should be proud. Your Excellency, I congratulate you on this step. I encourage you to continue your approach of reaching out to all Akwa Ibomites. I must say, Your Excellency, I was particularly flattered when I discovered that the reason His Excellency selected me to chair this event was in recognition of my own modest contributions to the development of the state. Those of us who served in the legislature are not always recognized. But the governor is clearly appreciative of the leadership role I played when I was in the Senate. It will be recalled that I led the process, working together with other Akwa Ibom members of the National Assembly, that resulted in the passage of the law that removed the onshore-offshore dichotomy. Not once, but twice. This legislative intervention has led to a massive increase in the revenues Akwa Ibom derives from petroleum production. The task was not an easy one, but it helped us in Abuja that we had the very strong support from Uyo of our then Governor Obong Victor Atta. I dare say that without our legislative intervention, the impressive strides which the state has made in the development of our road and other infrastructure, particularly in the last 16 years, would not have been possible. And I would like all my colleagues in the National Assembly from 1999 to 2007 to please rise up and take a bow. All my colleagues who are here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Furthermore, I'm told that His Excellency is appreciative of the fact that even after leaving the Senate, I have continued to help the state in any way I can. As may not be generally known, amongst other things, I played a key role in bringing a new Federal University of Technology to the state. I also contributed to secure a new Federal College of Education to Akwa Ibom State. Your Excellency, I thank you for appreciating my modest efforts. By this appreciation, you are encouraging me to do more. I promise to make myself available to you as I have done with all your predecessors. Your Excellency, please always let me know whatever you feel I can do to help the state, and I will help. In preparation for chairing this summit, I have gone through the Arise Agenda Blueprint. I see that the blueprint seeks to achieve 8 ambitious and lofty goals, driven by 5 aspirations, collectively referred to as the Arise Agenda. The agenda delineates 17 focal sectors to guide the delivery of these sector strategies and plans. It also identifies priority areas, among other sectors, that will deepen the development of the state. The Arise Agenda therefore sets out in a document the ambitious agenda of our Governor, Pastor Umoino. Congratulations for the Arise Agenda. And let me say, Your Excellency, that it is most commendable for the governor to be willing to expose his blueprint to sector experts, as well as to the general public, for review and constructive criticism before adopting it as his working tool for governance. It's very, very commendable. I thank you, Your Excellency. And I really commend your willingness to accommodate the views of all Akwa Ibomites. He clearly believes that we are all stakeholders who have something to contribute to the development of the state. And he's right. Whether we work for government or like those of us in the private sector, we are all important stakeholders in the fortunes of our state. And we must each be willing to contribute whatever we can to the development of our state. But government must provide the enabling environment. Government must provide an environment that encourages entrepreneurship, innovation, investment, and wealth creation. It is incumbent on those in government to let those of us in the private sector know the opportunities they are creating for private sector investment. And this is because a healthy private sector drives economic growth. It is the private sector that provides most of the investment required to grow the economy and create jobs. And job creation must be a central part of His Excellency's agenda, as creating jobs is the fastest way to alleviate poverty and elevate the living standards of our people. But to be sustainable, most of these jobs must be in the private sector. In short, Your Excellency, in my view, government policies must be directed at making Akwa Ibom State one of the most desirable destinations for investment in Nigeria. And maybe even in Africa. Why not? We can turn Uyo into a regional hub. And to achieve success, we must set ourselves ambitious targets. Your Excellency, fellow Akwa Ibomites, let us think big. Now, our first task at this retreat will be for each and every one of us to familiarize ourselves with the Arise agenda. We cannot usefully critique what we do not have full knowledge of. All participants should avail themselves of the opportunity presented by the presence of the governor and his team to ask questions. We must ensure that we fully understand the Arise agenda. The governor has told me that he wants participants to feel free to make contributions to the further refinement of the agenda by filling in any gaps, plugging any loopholes, and generally suggesting ways to ensure the effective implementation of the plan. And this brings me, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to the critical issue of implementation. As some of you may know, I have been involved in the development of many government blueprints. As the Minister for Budget and National Planning, I was responsible for coordinating the preparation of the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, which was launched by Mr. President in 2017. Prior to my service as a minister, I had served as a board member of the Economic Summit Group and participated in developing many economic blueprints. I was also involved in the development of the Vision 2010 National Plan, as well as the needs program of the Olusegun Obasanjo administration. At that time, I was the chairman of the Senate Committee on National Planning, and therefore I provided support to the then Chief Economic Advisor, Dr. Chukwuma Soludo, in developing the needs plan. I've also advised many presidents on the development of the various action plans. For instance, many people do not know that I helped in the preparation of President Musa Yar'Adua's 7-point agenda. I therefore come to this retreat with quite an extensive experience of developing economic plans and blueprints. Many of these plans I have referred to were very well put together after extensive consultations with most of the experts and opinion leaders of the country. Some of these plans were hailed at their launching as potentially transformative, by both local and international experts. I regret to say, however, that most of them, notwithstanding the fact that they were well crafted, have failed to meet their lofty goals. In almost all cases, the reason for this failure, the failure to achieve their goals, has been a lack of effective implementation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm emphasizing this point because it is not just a Nigerian phenomenon. It is worldwide. It is estimated by political scientists that 90% of the plans made by governments throughout the world fail to achieve most of their goals. For the governor's agenda to be truly transformative, so listen to me, for the governor's agenda to be truly transformative, it must be effectively implemented. I emphasize that. It must be effectively implemented. This is only the beginning. Crafting the plan is one thing. We must follow through for effective implementation. Because many governments underestimate the importance of implementation. Governments typically spend 90% of their time on designing their policies, but only 10% of the time working out the implementation strategy. Indeed, in many policy documents, the implementation section is tucked away at the back of the publication, sometimes even as an appendix. In my experience, a good implementation strategy requires setting out measurable goals with clear timelines for each of the priorities. We must set out measurable goals for each of the priorities, because what cannot be measured cannot be monitored. In addition, to be able to deliver on a plan, you must clearly identify the resources that will be required for the implementation and how these resources will be generated. The persons or positions with responsibility for carrying out each step must also be clearly identified. They must be clearly set out, a scheme that connects the inputs with the outcomes. All these must be there. If they are there, then we are likely to see an effective implementation. Because a plan with no clear responsibility for implementation is just a wish list. Delivery is now considered so important to the success of any serious plan that a term has been developed for it. It is called deliverology. Many governments, as well as major private sector companies and corporations, now set up special delivery units. These units are considered so important that they are usually located in the office of the chief executive. In this case, it should ideally be located in the office of the executive governor. Successful delivery units are typically headed by a very senior person with experience and with political clout. He is supported by highly skilled, experienced, and well-remunerated persons who have shown a track record of performance elsewhere. The job of the delivery unit is to monitor and to drive delivery. Targets are clearly defined and agreed with those with operational responsibilities. Performance incentives are provided for those who meet targets. The consequences for failure is clearly spelled out and administered without fear or favor. This is something the governor might wish to consider amongst other implementation mechanisms and devices which might be recommended by participants at this retreat. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would therefore like to suggest that not more than a third of the time at this retreat is spent by participants on refining the Arise agenda. Most of the time at this retreat should, in my view, be spent on debating and agreeing on an effective implementation strategy for each of the agreed priorities. In conclusion, I recall what Margaret Thatcher said in 1979 when she had just assumed office as the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. This was at an occasion similar, probably similar to this retreat. She had just assumed office. At that occasion, after listening to the many contributions from her advisors as to what her goals should be, she famously said to all of them gathered there, and she said, and I quote, "Ladies and gentlemen, don't tell me what. I know what. Tell me how. Tell me how." Your Excellencies, Governor Moino knows what. He knows what he wants to achieve. The what is contained in his Arise agenda. What will help him is if all of us gathered here can contribute our ideas as to how the lofty goals set out in his Arise agenda can be successfully implemented. By helping to achieve the goals set out in the Arise agenda, we will all be making our own contribution to growing our economy and to developing our people, thereby transforming Akwa Ibom State into the land of our dreams. Thank you very much.
I think we can make it louder for that very clinical chairman's remarks delivered by no better man than a man who has been involved in national planning, now coming here to take his place in state planning. Please, one more time, can we put our hands together and celebrate him? Do not tell me what, tell me how. Just to underscore some of the points which our chairman has already said, and of course to further remind us that this is not politics but governance and development. I had earlier acknowledged that all distinguished senators are here, but perhaps some of us may have thought that I meant senators and House of Representative members from the People's Democratic Party. That's not what I meant. Distinguished Senator Itainang is here. As a matter of fact, we have Honorable Patrick Umor of the APC. We also have Honorable Clement Jumbo of the APC. We welcome all of you. We acknowledge that you are Akwa Ibom people, and we are thankful that you threw away the toga of your party, at least for once, to join us as we think towards a better Akwa Ibom State. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to at this point punctuate the very serious nature of this event by inviting for a musical presentation to be done in 3 minutes. The gentleman, great performer, Mighty Jordan, who will take the song titled Akwa Ibom, because we're here to think and to grow Akwa Ibom. If your hands are not busy, even if they were, please excuse whatever is making them busy and make welcome Mighty Jordan for a 3 minutes, not more, possibly less, performance of the song Akwa Ibom. Thank you. Please, can we give him a cordless mic? Thank you.
From the 27th of July, Akwa Ibom will rise like never before. Are you ready?
Akwa Ibom yaridong okima Ufa ukari kama kemi Yaga woku towo Kamidong meme woku woro wo Akwa Ibom yine keda Eyome komo basie Jona basse menon yinunen unena dani son kentamba uforo bio kentamba ede me donki donki don enyonga sana donki fa ete yendi Ikambo ke dilo ika. Uyo ya muye boni wo beremo. Dese wo kana mi ye binye.
Akwa Ibom is sour.
Uwa mighty Jordan eh. Yaga wo ku wo wo ba. Akwa Ibom yagi dongo kima. Ufa ukari kama kemi. Yaga woku to wo ba. Se kami dongo meme woku wo wo ba.
Shake it, 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 shake it.
Please can we put our hands together and celebrate mighty Jordan? Thank you very much. Please can we put our hands together one more time and celebrate that gentleman for that very thoughtful, didactic presentation of that song, Akwa Ibom State. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to at this point take very few messages of goodwill, and we trust that all of them will be very brief. I'd like to mention, please, that this is only the opening ceremonies for this event. After the opening ceremonies, we'll have the breakout sessions where the technical papers, strong opinion will be presented. To that extent, everyone who's coming to the microphone now is coming to merely give a goodwill message. Keep your paper, if you have any, for the breakout session so that it can be elaborately considered and discussed. So I'd like to quickly invite these very senior citizens and leaders who are going to lead us through the goodwill messages at these opening ceremonies at this event. I'd like to first welcome a man who deserves to speak at an event like this. His Excellency, the former governor of Akwa Ibom State, the father of modern Akwa Ibom, His Excellency Architect Obong Victor Atta. Please can we welcome him for the first message of goodwill at this event. We welcome you.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umoino and his dear wife, Your Excellency, the immediate past Governor of Akwa Ibom State, the Deputy Governor, please permit me to adopt the protocol that has been established. For me, today represents a restoration of a dream that was beginning to fade. When our President, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, was the governor of Lagos State 1999 to 2003 to 2007, when I was the governor of Akwa Ibom State, he and I used to have some very interesting discussions. And I remember saying to him that Lagos was, and still is, what it is because of its airport, its seaports, and its industrial estates. And I said to him that Akwa Ibom was going to rival Lagos State. Because I had made up my mind that Akwa Ibom will build even a larger airport than there is in Lagos, with 2 runways and an MRO facility, so that it would become the maintenance hub for aircraft in West Africa. I also told him that we were going to lead in technology, because we're going to build a science park alongside a university of technology that was research-based. I promised him I wouldn't compete on the issue of seaports, but the one that we want to build in Nebaka will be of such high world standard that it will be one of the best in the world. And I told him, however, we're going to lead Lagos because Akwa Ibom was going to provide 24-hour constant power to drive all those facilities. Unfortunately, though, I must say that today, the University of Technology has been scrapped. The science park has not been completed. The seaport has not been built. And Akwa Ibom has not yet provided uninterrupted 24-hour power. But I'm pleased to say that I've read this Arise agenda, and all those items are in here. That is why I speak about a restoration of a dream that was beginning to fade. Thank you for bringing back the Akwa Ibom dream. Now, when I look at your Arise agenda, I feel pleased because you have agreed that even in bringing power, you will bring variations into it by way of maybe solar energy as well. And that is very pleasing to know because that's renewable energy. I will tell you, Your Excellency, there are people in this state who have been concerned about government and governance over time. And they got together and did something. I will take some quotes. The anchorman here said, "You are a leader that believes he does not know it all. Please ask questions and be willing to give a listening ear." I listened to the chairman and he said, it's not a matter of what, but how. So those people got together and formulated not policies, no, but implementation plan, because as has been emphasized here, implementation is the key. Implementation is the issue. So, Your Excellency, as I want to leave this podium, I will hand 2 of these documents to you so that you can give them to your advisory team to look at carefully, because these documents contain not only those programs that you have listed here, but the methodology, even the costing of how some of these things can be done. Your Excellency, I can say without hesitation that your heart is in the right place. All it needs is true guidance so that you can implement it effectively. God bless you. Thank you.
I love the applause coming in for His Excellency Architect Obong Victor Atta. Thank you very much. His Excellency says our governor's heart is in the right place and that he only needs guidance to implement all of it. So as I look around this hall, I can already say that His Excellency our governor has the right people to guide him. And of course, our father has already started. Can we put our hands one more time together as we celebrate that gentleman? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, I only think that on the cost part, there may be a need for review, considering the present realities. I don't know if that part will still stand. Let me welcome for the second message of goodwill at this event, Dr. Debo Ita, please, for the second message of goodwill. And let me ask, please, that the Executive Director, Dr. Debo IITA, from IITA, please. I apologize, I got that muddled up a bit. Please, can we have him come for the second goodwill message at this event? And while he comes, let me please request that the Executive Director of the Governors Forum should please prepare, as he will be the third to deliver a goodwill message at this event. Please, can we put our hands together one more time and just celebrate him? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Excellency, for inviting me and IITA to this occasion. I think I should just mention that I brought greetings from His Excellency, the Governor of Oyo State as well, Governor Seyi Makinde. I work with him as an advisor, as you know, while I also work as a director at IITA. For us at IITA, agriculture is a major area that we focus on, but not just agriculture has been seen on diverse occasions. We look at agriculture from a very holistic perspective. We look at agriculture from all the value chains. We look at agriculture from the economical perspective. We look at it from industrial aspect also. And I have been able to go through the Arise agenda. I've seen that the issue of agriculture and rural development is actually very critical to your plan. I'm very glad, and we are very delighted to know that you are taking this as a major priority for the state. One great joy with regards to the issue of taking agriculture as a priority is that you're not just feeding people, you're creating employment through this, you are developing economy by making agriculture a priority. And there is no way agriculture could be done without engaging in rural development. That mistake has been made in the past by quite a lot of our predecessors in different states, where they think that agriculture could be separated from a rural development. But what we have seen critically is that that is not the case. We have to develop our rural areas to ensure that our agriculture thrives the way we wanted it. Excellency, I need to give you this assurance through the leadership of the IITA, International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, that we are going to support you strongly. We are going to ensure that our Akwa Ibom state become one of our major priority states that we will be working in. And you will not just feel the presence of IITA in a short time. This is going to lead to a long-term impact upon the state. I also want to assure you strongly that IITA is going to bring all its network, as we have discussed, Excellency, to support the state. Some of this you have already engaged in terms of discussion with African Development Bank, as it were, and many others as well. Just be rest assured that we as an organization, we are here to take as much responsibility as you are interested in giving to us to support this agenda. I once again want to congratulate you for setting this agenda. It's quite critical, quite important. And I believe strongly, as has been said by the previous speakers, that it's not just the policy, it's not just the program, it's not just the strategy, but the implementation that is very critical. I heard the father, Atta, mentioning implementation and some of the things that he has done in the past. I also heard from Senator Udoma as well. It is true. Strategy has been developed in the past. Many of these strategies, most times when you look at it, it has a disconnect, with the reality that we see at the end of the day in terms of implementation. I believe strongly that the team that you have put together in terms of the technical sessions that I have seen in this document that I have read about today will have the capability to be able to produce that implementation plan. But I will request for one thing that is going to be very essential for this government, that kindly subject this to external reviews. They will be able to provide an eyes into what you are doing that is very different from the internal team that you have. Thank you very much again, Excellency, for inviting me and us, and we wish you a successful deliberation. Thank you very much.
Thank you for those intentional suggestions. Your Excellencies, let me please crave your indulgence to acknowledge our live audience who have joined this dialogue, some of them viewing from Arise TV, some from the various social media handles of the Akwa Ibom State government. The comments coming in are very encouraging, and we really appreciate you for joining us, even though you couldn't be here physically. Your Excellency, for the next message of goodwill, a representative from the Governors Forum, Executive Director of that forum, Abdul Latif Shitu. Please, can we put our hands together and welcome him as he comes for the third message of goodwill at this event. If you clap louder, I'm beginning to think that his message will be brief. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome.
Your Excellency, distinguished array of guests, my Lord, and Royal Highnesses hereby present, I would like to stand on the existing protocol that has been defined. But before then, I would like to just bring some well wishes and greetings to His Excellency Victor Atta. His Excellency Victor Atta was the second chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum. The Nigerian Governors Forum was founded in 1999, and the pioneer chairman was Senator Abdullah Adamu. He was the second chairman who took over from Abdullah Adamu. And during his tenure, he set the tone for a lot of collaboration and cooperation amongst the federating units in the country. It's there on the record. I also want to extend my well wishes to the immediate governor of Akwa Ibom State, who has done a lot, the Governors Forum Secretariat, in the last 8 years. He has contributed substantially, to the growth of the Secretariat and the Forum. Your Excellency, today marks a significant milestone in the journey of Akwa Ibom State, and we are honored to be part of this auspicious event. It is with great pleasure that we join the government and people of the state to this dialogue and the formal launch of the Arise Agenda, which serves as the flagship economic and development agenda of the new administration. We are indeed pleased to be part of this stakeholders' engagement. The Nigerian Governors Forum, a policy hub, has now become a centerpiece of subnational collaboration among Nigerian states. Last month, Your Excellency graciously shared your ambitious agenda for your state, while we had the opportunity to share important lessons learned from our work across the 36 states. It was a very productive debrief, which has now set the tone for a set of activities on our part to engage with the state. We express our profound gratitude to His Excellency for the opportunity to collaborate and contribute to this novel dialogue with a fitting theme, Come Let's Reason Together. Your Excellency, we acknowledge this responsibility and we assure you of our commitment and dedication to subnational development while remaining professional and apolitical. We assure you, sir, of NGF Secretariat's willingness to work with your government and provide whatever technical assistance is at our disposal for the betterment of Akwa Ibom State. Your Excellency, we read your inaugural speech and the highlights of your agenda titled My Blueprint for Economic Consolidation and Expansion, Growing Our Economy, Developing Our People. The blueprint clearly provides a sense of clarity, inclusivity, and forward thinking. It's a vision that should inspire public confidence in the new administration's capacity to nurture the growth and prosperity of our residents in the state. Our economy is currently facing a set of headwinds, all of which have contributed to a cost of living crisis for many Nigerians. The feasibility of the challenges we see calls for immediate action from all governments, and it places a heavy burden to respond timely. We are delighted to see the state taking a stance in the forefront with a vision to build a highly industrialized economy, true value addition in the agriculture sector, and innovation-based manufacturing. This is the only way to provide high productivity jobs that will take people out of unemployment and poverty. At the Nigerian Governors Forum, we pledge our unwavering support to see Your Excellency's vision come to fruition. We believe that by working together in true collaboration and solidarity, we can achieve remarkable progress and transform Akwa Ibom State into a shining example for other states to emulate. Once again, we extend our congratulations to His Excellency and his team on this occasion, and we look forward to witnessing the positive impact of the Arise Agenda in the lives of the people of Akwa Ibom. May this journey be filled with success and prosperity for all. Amen. I wish you all fruitful and impactful deliberations. Thank you, sir.
Please, can the applause come a bit louder? Thank you very much. Thank you so much. It was John Maxwell who said that when the vision is clear and compelling, attracting collaborators and partners becomes a natural reaction. It is the reason why you've heard every single person who have come out here to speak promising to partner His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State and indeed the entire Akwa Ibom State to ensure that we don't just know the what and the how, but we indeed do the doings to take Akwa Ibom to where it ought to be. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome for the penultimate message of goodwill at this event, the representative of the Akwa Ibom, who is here, the paramount ruler of Ibesikwa Sultan local government area, Edidem Clement III. Please, can we put our hands together and welcome him for the goodwill message on behalf of the Akwa Ibom Ibibio. Can you clap louder? That's a father, that's a leader, and he deserves all the applause he can get. Thank you.
His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom, Pastor Omoino, the former Governor of Akwa Ibom, Udom Emmanuel, the ex-Governor of Akwa Ibom, my son, engineer, architect, Victor Attar, the deputy governors here present and the past, my colleagues, politicians, ladies and gentlemen, media, I would like to stand at the already existing protocol. I'm representing the head of the monarchs, the Akwa Ibom Ibibio, the Chancellor of Akwa Ibom University, the President of the Traditional Rulers Council of the Akwa Ibom State, Dr. Daniel Etuk. Unfortunately, he is on another assignment for the fathers elsewhere, probably higher either in Lagos or Abuja. I don't want to, stigmatize where he is. Graciously, he has asked me to represent him and to give appreciation to all of you who are here, and to most of you who assisted the just past administration to have the safest, one of the safest landing in Akwa Ibom, by presenting someone worthy of emulation. Omoino. He said he would personally send greetings to the exit governor, and he would want me to ask the present governor to stick by his RISE agenda, following all the dots it put in. The critics that may come to receive it faithfully, so that we could land and assure where all would benefit. Personally, I thank you, the governor, and hope the traditional rulers of Akwa Ibom will stand by you, will support the necessary steps that will bring Akwa Ibom to an enviable level and to actually ask your particular attention to the traditional rulers to define in the agenda the rule and how they can come in to assist. And due to all the hopes and the dots we think we can move from north to south, from east to west, as is covered by the 31 local governments aided by the traditional rulers, no stone probably would be left unturned by not helping you to succeed as your predecessor did. We thank you very much. We hope the citizens would join hands and do the needful. We're all fighting for a space in this big community, which is Nigeria. We need a space. And he asked me to let you know that we cannot do it. We cannot achieve that without peace and harmony. He wants me to definitely request you to know that where you feel the traditional rulers can help in bringing peace to this community, defer not from letting us know. And that the members of the Traditional Rulers Council in Akwa Ibom State are heavily behind you. Thank you very much. Your program looks very delicious. We know that the forks, the table, the spoons would also look attractive. Thank you.
Please, can we give a loud applause for that deliciously delivered message of goodwill? Thank you so much. In the course of concluding that message, our father said 3 thank yous. And every time he said a thank you, I thought it was an end. But of course, fathers always have more wisdom to share. One more time, can we celebrate a representative of the Akwa Ibom? Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in seeking knowledge, one must be blind to tribe. One must be blind to where people are from. So as we seek to draw a roadmap for Akwa Ibom State, beginning now, running into the next 35 years in the future, the people who have invited here are not all Akwa Ibom people. Wherever we found wisdom, His Excellency the Governor went out for them. So for the last message of goodwill at this event, I'd like to welcome the MD of Sahara Powers, Mr. Kola Adeshino, to please approach the microphone for the last message of goodwill at this event. Please can we put our hands together and welcome that distinguished gentleman as he comes for the last message of goodwill at this event. Perhaps he stepped out, but we are sure that he's here. So to conclude on this series, as it were, hoping that perhaps he comes around, and if he doesn't come around, we just move forward, because as the immediate past governor of Akwa Ibom State would say, we go forward only, we never go back. I'd like to at this point yet again punctuate this event as I invite for a cultural performance the Udo Miriam Cultural Troupe. Please let me request or advise that your performance should not exceed 4 minutes. Please make it strong, make it beautiful, but let it be brief. Can we put our hands together for them one more time? Thank you. Please can we put our hands together for that very amazing performance by the Udor Miriam Cultural Troupe. Many beautiful things about that performance there, the energy, the coordination, the colors. But of course, we can also see as they ended by the father leading the son, which shows that there is preparation for adequate succession. Please can we put our hands together for them? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And that is why we are here to discuss Akwa Ibom of the future. Your Excellency has graciously granted that we take 2 more short, please, emphasis on short goodwill messages. I know that we have our fathers here. I know we have a lot to share. That is why we have breakout sessions, not 1 day, 2 days, full days. The idea is that you can go there, get into one of the resource rooms and share all your ideas. So I just plead that this remains very short as I welcome first the former Minister for Petroleum, a leader in all his right, at Tuekong, Don Etiebet, CON, for a very short message of goodwill. The emphasis is just for want of time, please. Can we celebrate him? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. MD. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, and your deputy and your dear great wife, Your Excellency, the past. I think so many nomenclatures have been used, so I want to use all the past governors of Akwa Ibom State. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, just a short note. No. And first of all, please permit me, Your Excellency, the Executive Governor, to extend the apologies of my colleagues in Abuja, Abong Omana, Kunumana, and Abong Nsema Ekere, whom you had extended invitations to this great occasion for their inability to be here in person. And they said they have reached out to you for their inability to be here. Your Excellency, I want to express excitingly my happiness at your invitation to us to attend this retreat. Your Excellency, everything has a beginning and everything has a process. And I want to tell you that you have come to renew the spirit of all the Akwa Ibomites. You have now brought all Akwa Ibomites to this function today. And I want to promise you that we shall all stand by you in the development of Akwa Ibom State. And specifically, Your Excellency, and my dear brother, former Governor Victor Atta will bear me this. In the drafting of the present Constitution of Nigeria, the onshore-offshore dichotomy was about to be removed from the Constitution, and you will bear me witness. Secondly, the percentage of the allocation of the oil proceeds to oil-producing states were also going to be tinkered with. I'm very pleased to announce to you that as an Akwa Ibomite, who then was the Minister of Petroleum, worked hard to mobilize all the delegates to that constitutional conference to make sure that the onshore-offshore dichotomy was removed from the Constitution. And it was inserted in the Constitution before there was the Obasanjo administration, who, having seen that, wanted to remove it again. And that is when Senator Udoma, who was in the Senate then with Governor Atta, the governor of Akwa Ibom, said, worked very hard to make sure that it was not removed. And this went right up almost to the Supreme Court. Your Excellency, there was another thing. There was an attempt to wither down the allocation rate for not more than 13%. But I want to tell you that it was my own input, seriously at that time, that ensured the inclusion of not less than 13% derivation formula that was included in the Constitution. And these two things have enabled Akwa Ibom State to get the developmental inputs that is much required. And I want to thank you very much for this. And with this, I want to assure you that we will mobilize all Akwa Ibomites in Abuja. We still know the corridors of power there, and we are still there. And we want you to consult us at any time, and we shall get your dreams fulfilled. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much. Sufficient wisdom from the elders, some of them having straddled several sectors of the economy of this country. I think that right now all we need as Akwa Ibom people is just to pick a little from them and also pick some from the young, and then Akwa Ibom State would fly to the height it ought to be. Your Excellencies, we would have really wanted to have a short goodwill message either from Kola Deshino or the former Minister for Power, Bath Naji, but we've been unable to confirm their presence in this hall. So please, we're going to conclude. All right. I was searching everywhere for you, sir. Former Minister for Power, former Minister for Science and Technology. I think we conclude with him. Can we put our hands together and welcome Professor Bath Naji as he comes to give a message of goodwill, an excellent man in all ramification, a key stakeholder in the power sector in this country. Please, can we keep celebrating him? I think he has the solution to all the power problems Akwa Ibom may think of. Welcome.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom, Your Excellencies, former governors, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I stand on already established protocol. First, I must thank you, Your Excellency, for inviting me. I think it shows that you are open to ensuring that this Arise agenda is realized, because you're open to all forms of support from anywhere. This is very, very critical for the success of your agenda. I listened to the former governor talk about the original plan, and in the area that I am particularly my own sector, which is electricity, that there is a desire from the start to have reliable electricity in the entire state, to support all the initiatives. And I believe that from what I have seen coming into Uyo this morning, I rode from Aba to Uyo here, that the development in Akwa Ibom is on upward rise. And there is no question, there's no question in my mind that this agenda is totally realizable. We are here to give you all the support that you need. And I look forward to the breakout sessions. And as the former governor said, actually the distinguished senator said the implementation, because that's the Achilles heel on every plan. So we look forward to rolling out our sleeves and ensuring that we craft that implementation agenda. Thank you very much, all.
Thank you so much. That gentleman is not speaking from the books, he's speaking from experiences. And whatever he promised, we are sure that we can get a lot from it. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I should say we are done with the goodwill messages, but the truth is that if we sit down here to create the policies and the roadmaps and we don't have legislative backing for them, we may suffer in the long run. So I'm not really calling him for a goodwill message. I'm just calling him to come and say that the legislature is with the executive arm of government as we move Akwa Ibom forward. That is his thought, actually. So to close on this segment, I'd like to welcome Speaker of the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, the Right Honorable Udeme Otong, for a legislative remark, as it were, to conclude this series of goodwill messages. Please, can you celebrate Mr. Speaker some more? Thank you.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, our own Pastor Mo Basi Eno, Your Excellency, the wife of the Governor, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Your Excellency, the immediate past Governor of Akwa Ibom State here present, Your Excellency, the former Governor of Akwa Ibom State. Let me rest on the already established protocol. It is a great privilege and honor for me to be part of this historic era in the journey of our statehood. Today's events, the Akwa Ibom Dialogue and formal launch ceremony of Arise Agenda is indeed a defining moment in our dear state, which is made possible only by a visionary and a selfless leader like our dear Governor, His Excellency Pastor Uno Mbasieno. On behalf of the leaders and members of the 8th Assembly of Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, I heartily congratulate our Governor and Akwa Ibomites on this rare milestone. I must not forget to commend the Office of Economic Advisor to the Governor, ably manned by Dr. Mrs. Udwarabong S. Inam, for putting together these epoch events. For this administration to organize an Akwa Ibom dialogue within just 2 months after coming on board is very significant and commendable. As is often said, the morning tells about the latter part of the day. Let me, on behalf of my colleagues, Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, acknowledge and welcome the special guests at this well-designed program. Our immediate past Governor, His Excellency Mr. Udom Gabriel Emmanuel. Sir, we are glad to have you here. Permit me to say that the choice of the senior Senator Udoma as the chairman of this occasion is poignant to the fact that we mean business. As already in public domain, his love and genuine intention for Akwa Ibom and her people, both as a former senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and a minister of budget and national planning, is second to none. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, my colleagues, I have spent a reasonable time to extract and evaluate the Arise agenda, which is anchored on agricultural revolution, rural development, infrastructural management and maintenance, security management, and educational advancement. We are proud to say that the agenda is a manifestation of the shared hope and collective aspiration of Akwa Ibomites. In preparation for the golden era of our state, as encapsulated in the Arise agenda and championed by His Excellency Governor Moeno, the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, under my leadership, shall focus on legislations that will guarantee social and economic emancipation of the Akwa Ibom people. As opened by John Locke, the aim of law is not to abolish or restrain, but to preserve and enlarge freedom. For in the state of created beings capable of laws, where there is no law, there is no freedom. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we begin this dialogue today, I wish you all a fruitful and rewarding deliberation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. If the Speaker had concluded his speech without referencing at least one legal authority, I would have been unsure. But immediately he brought in the name John Locke. I was certain that things are right in the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are beginning to engage the reverse gears in these opening ceremonies of the Akwa Ibom dialogue. But let me further emphasize the apolitical nature of this event as I acknowledge a gentleman who equally contested for the seat of the governor of Akwa Ibom State from the African Democratic Congress, architect Ezekiel Nyetuk, friend of the state. We celebrate you. Thank you very much. The second man I want to acknowledge now, not because he's a member of the ADC, but because he's an intellectual guru and not necessarily interested in politics but in development. Paul Usoro, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. We welcome you too. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, at this point, I'd like to reiterate what Professor Bath Naji said. He said that as he drove into Akwa Ibom State, he could affirm that the development trajectory in Akwa Ibom State is going upward. And that is because we've been privileged as a state to have successive governors and governments that are interested in the development of Akwa Ibom State. Now, the gentleman I'm about to invite is the one who sat on the seat of the governor not more than 3 months ago. He was still the governor of Akwa Ibom State. And while he reigned, a lot of people had different opinion. But as we are here today, we confirm that time proves everything, including intentions and quality. So I'd like to invite a man of quality. I'd like to invite a man of goodwill. I'd like to invite a man of infrastructure and entrepreneurial renaissance. His Excellency, Mr. Udo Emmanuel, special guest of honor at this event. Please, can you rise, even if you are very heavy, as we celebrate His Excellency, immediate past governor of Akwa Ibom State, for the message of goodwill from. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mistake. Your Excellency the Governor, Your Excellency our Mother, the First Lady, Your Excellency the Architect of the modern Akwa Ibom. I remember when we wanted to put up the 21-story building, I spoke to him. He said, no, don't keep it that way you are keeping. There was a place originally designed for that. Take it to where you have it right now. And I obeyed him absolutely. You're welcome, sir. Let me also appreciate the presence of the Deputy Governor, all the Deputy Governors, the former, but I think once a Deputy Governor is a Deputy Governor, Your Excellencies, the man who refused to say what they said he should say, our Mr. Speaker, wanted you to come and pledge that all 100% support to Arise agenda. But you didn't say so. I've said on your behalf that you support. Let me thank all distinguished senators, former ministers, all our leaders. Please permit me not to extend the protocol. It's already been adhered to while. Acknowledge the chairman and all the faculties that will speak in this program. I really want to thank God for today. I think I'm one of the happiest people in this meeting today, because when you say Arise Agenda starts with man. And that man today is Pastor Moino. I want to say, let me also thank the planning committee who planned this. I can see led by the deputy governor, from what I could read from the program, and the economic advisor, and all those who made this day possible. And Mr. Governor, sir, I want to say that you've started well. You have started well. The whole idea is to improve. No man is the custodian of all the knowledge. And building a state like this is continuing. I mean, we put a single block, you come and put another, you come and until we get what we want and get to where we are going to. So I really want to thank you for inviting all of us and making this thing cut across all. Religious leaders, political leaders, irrespective of their party, formations, and the rest of them. Students, all, youths, women, every single person is brought into this agenda. And I really want to thank you for that. Today, you are trying to redefine the pan Akwa Ibom that we are expecting. And I could see that this cuts across a whole lot. It's developmental, it's transformational, and also it's transitional. And nothing could beat this. Let me also join my voice in saying congratulations. I say congratulations different from what Donald Duke told me when I became a governor. He called me and said, I will not tell you congratulations. I will tell you welcome. Welcome. That talking out of experience. He said, I can never tell you congratulations on swearing in. That the day you leave office, that's the day I will let you know whether I should say congratulations or not. So, a few days before I left office, I asked him, so what do you now have to say? He said, congratulations. But for you, I think the foundation is well led. You've hit the ground running. You can say congratulations now. Then 8 years after now, I say congratulations 8 times. And let me also please, I'm not one of the lecturers, I'm not going to give a lecture, but also say something that I think all of us would need to support you. Because you are not doing for yourself. You are not doing for your family. That's what a lot of people forget. So even in the course of doing this, you see a lot of people, you'll be misquoted. I keep saying so. You're a leader. You may be misquoted. You'll be misconstrued. You'll be misunderstood. But it does not matter. Just keep the eye on the ball. But one thing I can assure you we have in Akwa Ibom, we have the human resources. I'm sure by the time your chairman spoke, you also could align with me what I said before. We have it in abundance, and you can also tap and draw from it. Any organization, anything you want to do, the first thing you need is the people. And I think we have the people. And once we have the people, I think we can see the success down the line. But the people also must be able to support the process rather than making it actually not to work. But let me also say that you are planning to succeed. And people that fail to plan, I mean, I don't need to repeat that over time, but I'm happy with the planning and then the kickoff. Captain Odom will tell you, before I became a governor on May 29, 2015, Ibom A blueprint was ready in April 2015, even before I was sworn in. So we started documentations with hope and everything until it came to pass. So I looked at the blueprint document you gave me. I looked at the deliverables. And I feel so excited. I said, how will Akwa Ibom be if all these deliverables tomorrow, we measure them and we can tick them one by one? It's going to be a great state, a shining light in Africa, which is our dream. And I want to say here that all of us, we have a role to play. The chairman of the occasion, I'm happy, is so knowledgeable in planning and everything. And he talked about implementation. And I'm sure anywhere you go to, on actions like this, and the word arise, wherever you hear that word arise, something is expected. And what is expected front of the word arise is execution, which is what the chairman called implementation. Once you hear that word arise, there's a next thing that will follow anywhere, from the Holy Bible to a command to military to paramilitary. Once you hear that word arise, the next thing that follows is execution. So I believe we are all ready to join in executing that agenda that you've spelled out for us. And what is expected of us, I can assure you, we must also have that sense of ownership of everything, which is what is lacking in Africa. We lack the sense of ownership. If we have that sense of ownership, this is my own, all of us will make sure that this thing works well. And also, if we create a sense of urgency, you cannot arise. You cannot have this kind of agenda if all of us here do not create a sense of urgency in it. For it to work, a major principle, a major pillar, a major approach that will help us is that we must create a sense of urgency. And we must also address the culture. The culture. There must be a paradigm shift. I used to do it like this. It's not, no, not at all. And in the Arise agenda, certain things must change. That's why I say we must address the culture. I can't say everything now because, I just left the seat. If I were to talk like the chairman, I would have spoken like him. But there are certain things I can't say. But honestly, we must address that. And there must also be ease of acceptance of the direction you're going to. I keep telling people there can only be one leader at any point in time. So God did not make mistake. I keep drawing this example that they were archbishops, they were priests, they were high priests with Moses. But how come God chose Moses, a condemned boy, to lead the people? And amongst all the people who were there, it's only Moses that God spoke to. He did not speak to anybody. So today you are our leader. If God wants to give a direction about this state, he's going to give it to you. Then you will now tell us. No other person. So we must have that impact and readiness to follow you. We must also be ready to make sure we sustain even the outcomes out of this. I want to say here that we in Africa we like to live in denial. That's why I so much appreciate this Arise agenda. There was a time people used to think, electric car would not work in the whole world. In fact, we're almost deceived to believe, how can people just have electric car? How will they drive a car? Until these days, you go anywhere, Mercedes, Volkswagen, all of them, Tesla started. And now almost all brands are trying to develop electric cars. But at the initial stage, we were living in self-denial. And this part of the world, Africa, we are still believing hydrocarbon is still what will still sustain us. And this is what Arise agenda is all about. And before now, they say climate change. People say, what will happen? And today, we are beginning to see what climate change is getting to do. So which is why planning and what you're doing right now is absolutely necessary for us as a people. So I want to join all other people and thank you for inviting me just to come here. I wasn't meant to come and give any lecture to speak. But if you have made me a lecturer, I could have also offered myself to be one. Right now I'm a retiree. The former governor told me, he said, if you think being a governor was tough, being a former governor is tougher. But to me, sir, I think being a former governor is more peaceful. It's more peaceful. And I'm enjoying every bit of it. I'm enjoying every bit of it. So I'm optimistic that we will have robust engagements across sectors. I've seen all the sectors and subsectors listed. And the people you've chosen, you've selected, they are going to do a whole lot to it. And the policy experts nicely assembled here will further distill, analyze, and crystallize all the necessary ingredients such that at the end, a solid document will be produced which would further take our state to greater levels of growth and development. This is a state that you have the infrastructure. I mean, you have to build on it, you still have to improve on it, you still have to get it going. And once we get the people on our side, and I would want to advise our people and say to all our people, please let us support Governor Moino to succeed. Politics is over. This is the time for governance, and optimistic that those who will be tasked with the implementation of this economic blueprint will rise to the occasion and deliver for our people, for posterity. And those who are just out there, to distract the governor, please leave the governor to work. Those who are out to distract, a governor takes a decision. I keep telling people, the sweetest time to take water is in the cup, sir. The way you throw some people inside the swimming pool, they will drown. And the best player in the field is the spectator. Oh, pass it this way, do it this way. So please allow the governor to get focused. He has a blueprint, he has a direction he's going. If we don't distract him, and then we can actually allow him to work. A governor will take decision. You just see a small boy somewhere insulting a governor. Please let it not be. It shouldn't be done. Allow him to get focused. It's in the interest of all of us. God saw many of us, but picked him to lead us. I want to believe. Forward, ever. Backward, never. So it is therefore my honor and my pleasure to be here today and to wish that this event, God will guide the engagement and the leadership alignment, the approach, and then the change that this will create will be a whole lot to the benefit of our state. There are majorly two categories of leaders: those that create change and those that manage change. The Arise agenda, if well implemented and well executed, as I would like to say, and processes are followed, and then we have the people backing, ease of acceptance, and also we reduce resistance of our people. I want to say here that Arise agenda is here to create change, and by the special grace of God, that change will be created, and at the end, our people will be better for it. So once again, I say congratulations, number one. Next year, I owe you another congratulations. Then at the end, after 8 years, I'll tell you 8 congratulations. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank you. Please, can we be seated? I don't know how many of us reminisced on the days of His Excellency Udom Emmanuel when he said, "Gentlemen, please be seated." Immediately I heard that line, I remembered that was more or less a signature line for every time he needed to speak. And as he concluded his speech, I can only but reiterate the words of this wise man who advised. And he said, "Let your life be a reference and not a warning." I think His Excellency Udom Emmanuel would be a reference of good leadership to everyone who cares to learn, and not a warning on how not to be the governor of Akwa Ibom State. One more time, please, can we put our hands together and just celebrate him? Thank you so much. Your Excellency, just to allow us to cool off a bit, I'm going to invite an export talent from Akwa Ibom State, small but mighty, David Cruz, as he comes for a 3-minute performance. Please, can we put our hands together and welcome him? Please, can we put our hands together and just welcome him for this performance? Please, sir, you do it from here. You do it from here. Do it from here because of...
Akwa Ibom, are you ready?
Somewhere there.
If you're ready, make some noise. Susan, baby. Disaster. And busy on the beats. 20 September 1987, Sikido Disable Basema and Neplima equals to Brando Basequa Treble. In Akwa Ibom State, our God is able. Yoma Kodobim Bakara Peniki Dakida, Bama di Cheche Batida, Pakona Basilo to be near the Sikami Nakada, philosophy Kikami, Akwa Ibom Dakada, Pukodi Semewe, Rapetero, Takamati, Ayana Danidami, we did use the headlines, every single day, always available project, Kitamado on top, they will go anywhere. Akwa Ibom is acceptable when they are shaking, we remain unshakable. You say this week, they come, Abasiyaki, we don't do, Akwa Ibom, that made up to the state. You say this week, they come, Abasiyaki, we don't do, Akwa Ibom, that made up to the state. Abasiri, Akwa Ibom, best power too. Ariama Akwa Ibom, best power. Abasiri, Akwa Ibom, best power. Ariama Akwa Ibom, best power. Abasiri, Akwa Ibom, best power too. Ariama Akwa Ibom, best power. Abasiri, Akwa Ibom, best power. Ariama Akwa Ibom, best power. Say fly high based on Ibom. Akwa Ibom state and we can escape. One is the attention of the national anthem. Members if on a young non-confused. Don't get your Akwa Ibom, sleep in them. Everything free where they can hang in them. 3 years of doing it, don't is hang them. Young strong in the for no basic mudema. Let's say king of glory, God of UIC, you any mama to become a mini, Dakana, Yaki, Muskeli, Lamborghini, Cable from Koya to Peggy, Kemini, don't be skipping. Always available project, Kitamado, on Tante, Puto, anywhere. Akwa Ibom is acceptable when they are shaking. We remain unshakable. Who's in this week, they come. Abasiyaki, could be just a young kid, I'm coming. Akwa Ibom, that made up to the state. Who's in this week, they come. Abasiyaki, could be just a young kid, I'm coming. Akwa Ibom, that made up to the state. Abasiri, Akwa Ibom, best power too. Ariama Akwa Ibom, best power. Abasiri, Akwa Ibom, best power. Ariama Akwa Ibom, best power. Abasiri, Akwa Ibom, best power too. Ariama Akwa Ibom, best power. Abasiri, Akwa Ibom, best power. Ariama Akwa Ibom, best power too. Disaster.
Put our hands together and celebrate David Cruz for that amazing performance. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me remind us that we're here at the Akwa Ibom Dialogue, where we're here to generally generate the roadmap and the template for the development of Akwa Ibom State for the next 4 years, by the grace of God, the next 8 years, and by all means, the next 35 years. And so, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to another high point of this event. The world today is in need of leaders with clear and compelling vision. The world today is in need of leaders who are authentic, embracing their humanity, embracing their vulnerability. The world today is in need of leaders who are transformative, ready to pick things up from where they see it and take it up to the standard they ought to be. And the world today also needs agile leaders, strong in mind, strong in body, ready to run the long race of bringing dividends of democracy to the people. By the grace of God, as Akwa Ibom people, we have a visionary leader who has crafted their rise agenda. We have an authentic leader who, in every sense of the word, has embraced his humanity. We have a transformative leader who is ready to lead us from where we are to where we ought to be. On this note, I'd like to welcome that gentleman, the scion of great leadership in Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umoino, Governor of Akwa Ibom State, as he comes to officially present to us the Arise agenda, which is the bedrock of every deliberation that we shall have here. Please, can we make the applause louder for this very distinguished leader and governor of Akwa Ibom State. Thank you.
Thank you, sirs. Please, let's be seated. Thank you. Wow. What a great, great event with great leaders of Akwa Ibom State here today. I'm extremely very, very, very delighted to have great leaders of thoughts, stakeholders and builders of Akwa Ibom, people who have contributed in no small measure to bring Akwa Ibom to where we are today. We salute all of you. On this note, I'd like to start by welcoming Her Excellency, my dear wife, the First Lady of Akwa Ibom State. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of our state, Honorable Speaker of the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, the representative of the Chief Judge, other judges that are present here, Your Excellencies, the former Governor of Akwa Ibom State, the father of modern Akwa Ibom, Architect Obong Victor Atta. Very delighted to have you here, Your Excellency. My political father, the immediate past Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Deacon Udom Gabriel Emmanuel, by whose support, through the grace of God and the support of Akwa Ibom people, under his able leadership, God has brought me here today. I salute you, sir. Thank you so much for all the work you did, all your sacrifices. Thank you for the trust, and thank you for, as I've always said, finding in me what others could not see. I thank you. Your Excellencies, former deputy governors that are here, immediate past deputy governor of our state, my father, a man who stabilized government for 8 years, the single most longest serving deputy governor in Akwa Ibom, Father Uncle Mo, Deputy Governor Mr. Moses Ekpo, MFR, we salute you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for having the energy to come round all our campaigns. We salute you. Your Excellencies, former ambassadors, particularly the DG of our campaign, His Excellency Ambassador Assam SAN. Thank you for the hard work that you did. Your Excellency, the wife of the former governor of our state, the chairman of our occasion, distinguished senators that have come all the way from Abuja to show solidarity, we salute you. Those serving and those that have served. Members of the House of Representatives across party lines, we salute all of you. Thank you so much for coming all the way. Chairman of our great party, the PDP, leadership of other political parties that are here that have been recognized, members of IPAC, members of the Nigerian Governors Forum, the Secretariat that have agreed to partner with us, all of our partners, Zenith Bank, Ibom Air, Hensec, and all of our partners that have supported this event. We reached out to you and you responded because you believe in the vision. We are thankful. Honorable Deputy Speaker and honorable members of Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, former honorable ministers that are here present, the Secretary to Government and your beloved wife, the head of civil service of the state, all the facilitators, resource persons, service chiefs, retired service commanders that are present here, honorable commissioners designate, the representative of the Akwa Ibom Ibibio, and indeed all our traditional fathers that have made it here today. Paramount rulers that are here, we salute you. Heads of financial institutions, Akwa Ibom professionals, captains of industries, artisans, members of the academia, chairmen of boards and commissions, permanent secretaries, and heads of extra-ministerial departments, chairman and vice chairman of local government areas, led by the chairman of Algon, senior citizens, elders, the political class, stakeholders, men, women, youths, presidents and members of socio-cultural groups, members of the clergy, labor leaders, distinguished participants, specially invited guests, the press, ladies and gentlemen. Let me, on behalf of the government and the people of Akwa Ibom State, welcome our distinguished invited guests that have come here this afternoon. I make welcome very specially the father of modern Akwa Ibom, Architect Obong Victor Atta, for finding time to attend this event. I am extremely very grateful, sir. Let me specially welcome again to this event my political father, His Excellency Deacon Udom Gabriel Emmanuel, CON, who has come here to show us support, a man that since leaving office has never brought any pressure on me for anything. If anything, I'm the one running after him to ask for direction, to ask for advice. Quite unlike what I hear happen in other states. We thank you, sir. Thank you so much. The chairman of our occasion, who have come here today, distinguished Senator Udoma, we thank you. All the policy experts who have agreed to lend their expertise to help distill and deepen the layers of our economic blueprint called the Arise Agenda. We thank Professor Bat Naji spoke here. We thank you, sir, for accepting to come. Mr. Adeshino Kola is here somewhere, experts on power, because power is one of the critical things we need to discuss and get answers to. Savannah Energy, all of the experts will be in one room, so that at the end of the day, if they can't give us a clear roadmap, I have the keys to your room. And so we'd like to thank you so much. We have invited you all for this policy talk shop, appropriately tagged Akwa Ibom Dialogue, so we can come and reason together across party and ideological lines and move the needle of development of our dear state further. The question, therefore, is why Akwa Ibom Dialogue? The answer is simple. In the course of my electioneering campaigns, I had made a firm promise and commitment to run a government where all strands of thought from Akwa Ibomites across party lines and other policy experts drawn from all corners of our dear nation and in the diaspora will be brought and canvassed. The Arise Agenda is a detailed and well-articulated governance document which we have painstakingly assembled. We could have gone ahead with its implementation without exposing it to further analysis, but we felt our dear people should have a buy-in and take ownership in its articulation and eventual implementation. It is believed that a man who asks the right questions will never go wrong. So we are here to ask the right questions from the right people, and we trust that we can never go wrong. Let me again thank the good people of Akwa Ibom State for the overwhelming support you gave us during the electioneering campaigns and the solid, unassailable mandate you entrusted with us on March 18, 2023 to superintend over the affairs of this great state. I am deeply heartened and grateful for your kind prayers and all the great and inspiring things you have said about us since we came on board. Akwa Ibom State belongs to all of us, and we have no other state to go to except this great state. Whether you live in Abuja or in Kano or in southern Nigeria or in Oyo or wherever you live, so long as you are an Akwa Ibomite, this is your home state. And so we need to prepare well so that when your feet will land back here, you will have a state where you will be warmly welcomed. There's no other place you can receive a very warm welcome and receive accolades except in your own home state. So we'd like you to let us join together and eschew hatred, eschew all the bitterness, eschew politics of destruction, and join together to deepen the cords of our unity. And we must invest in the sustainable growth and development of this great state. We envision a vibrant, inclusive, diversified, and highly industrialized economy for this state, using highly developed human and material resources. My blueprint focuses on the achievement of 8 ambitious but lofty goals through the provision of 5 group aspirations collectively called the Arise Agenda. The Arise Agenda is an acronym which stands for the bold aspirations, agricultural revolutions, rural
His Excellency,
security management, educational and health sector management. This is further broken down into 17 focal sectors, detailing what we expect to achieve in each of the sectors in the short to medium and long term. To add more flesh to what we have proposed to achieve in this sector is what informed the need for this dialogue. This government is determined to improve the condition of living in the rural areas. And that's why most of the things we do tend to go towards the rural areas. We have asked that ward leaders PAs be selected from the wards. We have requested that chairmen of local governments should get ready to live in their domain because they are chairmen of their local government and they are not chairmen to live in Uyo, because we need to take all of this to the local government. We will build 31 local government chairman lodges across the state, and we will beg them to live in their local government and run, because they are the ones that will help us oversee the development we want to bring to the rural areas. And so we beg them to please understand, do not pick up your forms for the next election if you know you will not live in your local government, because that is where we rightfully apply to work. That's your place of work, and you should work and live there. When we choose to live in our local governments, we will improve security in that local government. We will help government to make sure that everything works within the local government. We will make sure there is light in your local government. This government, we will ignite agricultural revolution in this state, and that's why we're working with all of the agricultural institutes, the IITA, and like Dr. Debo said, they have done a great work helping us. We're having conversation with the African Development Bank, and we know all of the things we have had to do in the last 2 months. We will bring integrated farms. We will invest heavily in our oil palm plantations. Your Excellency, I'm proud to report to you that the Dakada oil palm that you started bringing back is on course, and we will ensure that that aqua palm works. We have seedlings we have planted, and we are trying to transplant them now. We will make sure that our investment in oil palm plantation in this state yield results, and we will become the agricultural belt in this country. We will construct model primary schools and secondary schools in each of our senatorial districts. We will protect our environment through renewable energy. These are types of, these are the healthcare facilities that we have, and this is from the type 2, because there are prototypes, type 1, type 2, and we think we'll work with the type 2. We'll equip our people with necessary skills to compete, and plans are in top gear to set up Ibom Leadership Entrepreneurial Development Center. What we want to do, I'd like to explain this very briefly, because we think that it's not just enough to have a business idea. And people they want to start business, Having an idea is good, but we have to subject the idea through a process and a test. So we're setting up Ibom Leadership and Entrepreneurial Development Center, where our young people with business ideas will go to the business school and entrepreneurial center. They will go through that school. The school will now train, test their ideas, and flesh it up for them. We'll now take them to an incubation center. That incubation center will have about 50 rooms, and we give them that accommodation. We call it an incubation center. We'll provide them what they need to incubate that idea, having been certified from the business school. But you'll be there for 1 year. Any good business idea, we give you a house, an office, we give you light, we give you, for 1 year. If your business does not blossom for you to leave the incubation center, then we know that it was not a good business. We think that if it's a good business, within 1 year, you should be able to come out of that and move to start your business so that other people can also come through the incubation center. We believe that, like His Excellency said, we have the human resources, and we think our young people should have that spirit, but we must put that entrepreneurial spirit in a proper context to make them compete with the world. We will create a ministry that will focus on internal security, and we will invest deeply in tourism, which today, thanks to Ibom Air, has made our state a destination of choice for Nigerians and other foreigners. In the past 2 months, we have engaged and played host to several potential investors across our state who are desirous in investing in our state. Please permit me at this point to go deeper into what we expect to see in each of the focal sectors. In agriculture, we will develop full value chains for the major economic crops in the state using farm settlement schemes and integrated farm systems. In healthcare, we revitalize our primary healthcare centers, provide new primary healthcare centers where none had existed, ensure the effective use of health insurance scheme, and establish a medical city between the corridor of Ibom Special Hospital and 4 Point by Sheraton. In the education sector, we intend to build model schools. We remodel the dilapidated school structures, prioritize the training and retraining of our teachers, promote and improve the learning standards, and privatize vocational and technical education. We will work on our rural roads, our rural markets, and ensure that we stem rural-urban migration. And all of the things we intend to do is listed in the Arise agenda, which we are subjecting to a thorough review and a roadmap, like the chairman said, the how. We have also determined to ensure that our civil service is motivated by ensuring that we pay them promptly, we pay them their allowances, and do the best we can as much as possible to make sure they get their entitlements and their gratuity. We ensure that they will be happy. We'll have a highly motivated workforce. Let me again use this medium to say we will promote the micro, small, medium-sized enterprises, which, according to the International Finance Corporation, contributes more than half of every nation's gross domestic product. We are prepared to run a listening government, a government that will take advice. But please, we will do the necessary things we have to do to ensure that we bring the dividend of democracy to our people. I'd like to inform the incoming commissioners that by the grace of God, I believe and trust that you will be cleared by the House of Assembly soon and you will be sworn in. But I'd like to say that you're coming into a new season. You may be old on the job, but there's a new template, and that template we will follow. I have fulfilled my part of the bargain with you to ensure that as colleagues, we come back together and run the government, because you labored during the elections. We worked together. I didn't just have the heart to throw you away. But the truth is, there is work to be done. The truth is, like our boss would always tell us, we will not take excuses. We will take results. And please, if you come to ESCO, I'm talking now because a lot of people have said, why bring the old people? The old people, you still need their wisdom. You still need their ideas. Where things we need to finish. There are processes still ongoing. That's why there is a continuity in this government, that we bring them so that we can sit together and finish. But please, I like to say, how far you will travel will depend on you, because we've led you this far. Going forward from now, you're on your own. Because if you don't deliver, you will hear your announcement on the 4 o'clock news. And that is no threat. That is a statement of fact. We have brought you together because we expect that you will help us interpret and run with the vision that the Arise agenda represents. And I trust in your capacity. I have vouched for you to the Akwa Ibom people, and I want to believe that you will not let us down. Thank you for helping put the building blocks of our economic blueprint together. We are hopeful that all of our resource persons will help us, and as I will visit all of the breakout rooms, and I'll be ready to answer your questions. I'll be ready to work with you these 2 days so that together by the end of Wednesday we'll be able to finish and come out with a document that will be smart, a document that we can measure. And so the commissioners will now, some people have said to me, why didn't you put the commissioners in office before organizing this? No, this is not a retreat for commissioners. We have come here to see the roadmap, learn from our people, take that roadmap, go with the commissioners for a retreat, and then we can see what we are going to do. Together we'll fix a timeline, and then together we'll look for funding, and so that every commissioner will know what he or she has to do from this Arise agenda. And then when we come to implementation, I want to guarantee Akwa Ibomites, the chairman, I want to guarantee you, and all our guests, that trust me, we will implement. And God helping us, we will do the very best to make Akwa Ibomites proud. Thank you so much for coming. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, the brass band. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, some people speak, and we hear sounds, we hear vowels, we hear consonants. But when you speak, we don't hear nothing. We see things, we see actions. We really appreciate you for being real, and we thank you for the direction that you've already given to Akwa Ibom State. As we begin to engage the reverse gears at these opening ceremonies, I'd like to make this very quick announcement. I'm trusting that those who this announcement is for would receive further instructions. But just that we note that as we step out of here, the facilitators and resource persons, please do not bother to go out. Please do not bother to go out because there is lunch provided for you, facilitators and resource persons. So after this, you just go out as you'll be led by the protocol team, and then you get refreshed, and then you get into the breakout sessions in the various rooms. Tourism would be in room 201, health, room 202, environment, room 203, ICT, room 204, women and children, room 205, transportation, room 206, commerce, trade and industry, room 207, education, room 208, mineral resources.
From the 27th of July, Akwa Ibom.
His Excellency Pastor Omoeno, in line with his promise for all-inclusive government, has invited experts from different fields of endeavor, irrespective of their political affiliation, to the first ever Akwa Ibom Dialogue. Come, let's reason together. An opportunity for citizens to contribute to the actualization of their rights agenda. Under the chairmanship of Senator Udomo Dodoma, former Minister, Budget and National Planning. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Mr. Dom Emmanuel, immediate past Governor of Akwa Ibom State. Date, July 24 to July 27, 2023, 9 a.m. daily at the prestigious Ibom Icon Hotel and Golf Resort, Uyo. For participation, contact the Office of the Economic Advisor to the Governor or call 070-3297-3584. Akwa Ibom Dialogue. Come, let's reason together. His Excellency Pastor Umoeno, Chief Host. This event is strictly by invitation.
This is our home, where we all belong. The place